If you're married and you're experiencing frustration, I know you want to think is what he or she is doing, and that contributes to it. But most of the time, there is a state you're in that amplifies that. Can I give another example? Do you know that when your relationship is very hot and sweet, you have behaviors that you exhibit? Name them for me. You're very generous. You're very patient. You're very understanding. Those are patterns of relationships that soar. When your relationship is falling apart, it also has patterns. What are the patterns? What? You're always impatient. The question is that when you exhibit the pattern, you enter the phase. So if I start exhibiting pattern of impatience, pattern of no connection, pattern of intolerance, I'm heading for the fatal fight, because those things are consistent with that pattern. So some of you, and what happens is this: your emotional state determines which of them you do. Because either you're patient or you're not patient. It depends on what the emotional state you are in. A lot of you are thinking. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 14. A lot of you are thinking. Your lady is really thinking. You're like, I don't know, you raise your eyebrow like a girl. You're like, oh, that's nice. You just did that just now. Praise God. Is this helping you? Is it helpful? Vicky, what do you think? You took money last Wednesday. You should say something this Sunday. Yeah. Give him a microphone, yeah.
Good afternoon, church. Good afternoon, Pastor B.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I want to say that I could relate to the frustration of what the lady mentioned, not getting help from other people. Because immediately she mentioned that I could relate, and it brought back memories of the kind of person that I know that I am, and
which is that you don't ask
how
for help.
Frustrated I was,
wow.
And how I was able to come out of that frustration.
How did you come out of it?
So Pastor B, like growing up, in fact, all through my life, right now I already have the idea in my head that I was made to always give to people and not receive. Because all through my life, even with family, with friends, people have always, once I get to know anybody or once anyone comes into my life, it's just like a norm that I must be giving out.
Wow.
So even with my relationships, because I'm that type of person, it's as if people just get used to. So
where did that come from? From your dad or your mom?
I lost my dad before I was 5.
Yeah.
And my mom is a hustler. So right from growing up, I was always I was.
So your mom was always giving out also.
Yeah. I mean, people were always coming to us, taking from us.
So I'm not showing you where it came from. It came from your mom. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It came from your mom.
Okay.
But you've not lost your husband. The reason why is that your mom did that to survive. She took that posture to survive. You don't have the reason to do that other than you learned it from her. Did you see what I'm saying? Are you seeing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your dad died when you were 5. Your mother had to stand to take care of the children. But she was taking care of you. You didn't, there will be challenges you will have, personally. But you didn't have to be that to survive. But I'm listening to your story.
I tried not to be that,
yeah.
But I didn't have a choice because even when you were saying that, or maybe it is pride, I know that there were times that I tried to ask for help. But every time I asked, nobody believed. Yeah. There were times that I didn't even have money to feed.
Yeah.
But if I ask even the people that
it's good to you telling the story because, now you run a successful fashion brand. A lot of people know you. And people don't even know that you didn't have money to feed. Yeah, wow.
So there were times that even with my uncles that I lived with,
Yeah.
Pastor B, when I say that I don't have transport money to go to school, they never believed me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would even have to trek to school
Yeah.
because nobody believed I never had.
Yeah.
Friends, family, even in my relationships, they never believe I never had. So there was a time, sometimes I would just sit down and I would just start crying to God. There was a time, the day that I came out of that frustration was the day I went on my knees and I was crying and I was telling God, was I born into this world to not receive back? Because even if I'm dating people that have, I'm always still the one giving.
Yeah.
I'm always still not receiving, you know. And I know that I'm a very good person. I know I'm a very humble person.
So
I
what
know
has
I deserve
changed?
all these things. So it was the day I went to God in prayer, and what God told me was that would I rather be the one receiving from people or be the one giving to people? And that was what broke it for me.
Wow.
And God said that every time I want something, I should always come to him, and he's the one that would always give it to me.
Good.
And from that day, everything I've never failed at anything in my life.
Wow.
I've never, in fact, everything I want for myself, I always go to God for it and he always gives it to me. And since that day, I've never had any reason to depend on anybody for anything. Yeah.
Praise God. That's great. That's wonderful. And I'm grateful. That's wonderful. But I still think that there's a layer that God will want you to go to. And the layer is this. God needs to help you to receive also. You know, and for that to happen, it's something that must change, even though the past is different. So I will tell you something. First of all, as much as those people were not there to help you, those bad experiences turned you to who you are today.
Yes, sir.
It was a gift in disguise.
Yes, sir.
You need to accept that gift. And I'm sure you've accepted it. That's why you're
Yes, I
thriving.
have.
But I think the next thing is this. Having an expectation to receive will change everything. This doesn't have to do with you, but general principle. There's a book by my friend Hassani. He's in the US. And he said, one of the problems with black American women is this. They are too strong for themselves. And when I say too strong for themselves, it's not in what they say, it's in what they do. Sometimes you will find out that just because of the way you are and the fact that you have to hustle, you will behave like a man. And people have told you you're more of a man than a woman. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's why you don't receive. Because the male gender is not that person. Until you begin to lean into your femininity, you will not be able to receive. You have to lean in your, what's leaning your femininity? Oh my God, I don't have petrol. Can you help me? When you don't have petrol, what do? Tell me, Vicky. See how she's laughing. Tell me.
I just order my stuff to buy.
She ordered because you've not leaned into what? Your femininity. The femininity is a weaker vessel. Who is a very feminine? Right? Yeah, you're very feminine. Nene, what do you do? Give her the microphone. Is she that way? I don't know. Because I didn't even know she was that way. Okay, tell me, yeah. Because
so if I didn't have petrol, I would just say, baby, I don't have petrol. I don't even know I'm going to get to work. Like, I don't even know I'm going to
if you don't have new Naira notes, what do you do?
Like, baby, I've not even seen the new Naira note. So I don't know.
If you're hungry, what do you do?
Baby, I'm hungry. What are we getting for lunch? What are we having? When are we eating?
See, what is it, baby? If you are a feminine, there will always be someone that you can lean on. Most of the time. The reason why is that you know that opposites attract each other. So once you're a feminine person, you will have the masculine person around you. You will always have the masculine person around you. Okay. Do you see where there can be adjustments?
Yes, sir. I agree because I mean when I'm
You agree.
when
Good.
I'm hungry, before I even say, "Oh, I'm hungry. I feel like eating this." When the boyfriend says, "Okay, what do you want to eat?" I'm like, "Oh, I already ordered from Monty Six."
You see what I'm saying? So she's very independent. So let me tell you what that means. The gap to help you is not available. If you want to be carried, you need to create the gap to be carried. You need to create the gap to be carried. Praise God. So you've learned today. So you must. But the thing is that you grew up with a lot of masculinity, which is reinforced because you are a hustler in your business. But you need to relax into your femininity. So, for example, you're the kind of person that you'll pick your wedding dress, and you've done that already, right?
No.
But other people will bring the wedding dress back home and say, "Baby, look at all these wedding dresses. Which one do you like?" You know, because they want to speak into what they're feminine. The feminine nature loves that. The masculine nature is very dependent. It's other way also. You have guys that are also feminine. So you have guys that any small thing, "Baby, what will we eat?" I mean, I've dated someone like that before. Oh, you know, right? "Baby, where do we go?" And most of those times, those guys were raised by single moms. Oh, yeah, one. Give him the microphone, let him testify. He just raised up his hand. Give him the microphone, let him testify. Yeah. Tell me how it works for you.
I'm just a mommy's boy.
You see, he's even proud. I'm just a mommy's boy. Like, so tell me what that means.